Welcome to Mimi on the Move. It's me, Mimi. And today I'm going to actually carry on with where I was going to go on last video, but I got a little bit sad when I was thinking about the murder of Charlie Kirk, and I couldn't carry on with my video any longer last time. So today we're going to go in the direction I was headed in last time. And it was about my songs, my videos, and my song videos I put together. Not everybody realizes how I do it, and I get almost every week somebody asks me, well, how do you produce that if you aren't singing and if you aren't playing the instruments? So a little bit of history first. I have had music in my head, I feel in my body, my entire life, and I have never been able to do anything more with it than write songs. And I can hear in my head how they should be sung. Now, I do not have a singing ability. I'm the first one to say that. I'm the one whose dog, a big German Shepherd, would run out of the house if I started singing. And that's okay. I also don't play musical instruments, although I have dabbled with the guitar and I've, done a few things with that. But I'm not like a polished musician externally. And I say that because everything is locked up inside of me and I've not been able to get it out. You see, when I was raising my children as a single parent, every penny I earned went to our household. It went to everything the kids needed, everything we needed. And there wasn't money left over for me to pursue any kind of creative endeavors that I would have done otherwise. And I'm not regretting where my money went. Trust me, I'm not. But now is the time. And I realize that now. And I'm really grateful to myself that I saved every song I ever wrote. Because what's happening now with artificial intelligence, and don't let that word scare you, it scared me in the beginning, but what I've learned about it is something I'm going to share today. And it's quite amazing. I'm just going to do a little story first. When I first introduced my first couple of songs that I produced with the assistance of AI, somebody reduced my work to AI did it. No, AI did not do it. AI was a tool like anything else, and it can be used that way. Yes, it can be used to cheat. Anything good can also be used bad. So let's not confuse what I'm doing with the ones that might do it 100% fake. Okay? So, like I said, I've got all this music in me. I know how my songs are supposed to sound, but in my entire adult life, I have never had the kind of money it takes to rent a music studio, to hire musicians, and put it all together the way I want it to sound. It's one thing being able to write music and write song. That's one thing. But to produce it costs big money. And like I said, it wasn't there. So all my stuff was in a box. I still write today. I've been writing all these years. This is not new, but I did save my most favorite things. Okay. So now that we have AI, and I'm in my 70s, some of you already know that, I have found a way to utilize AI to my benefit musically. I write every lyric in every song. I choose every instrument and how it's to be utilized in every song. I choose the mood of the song, the theme of the songs, the background instruments that are used, where they go, the riffs, the chorus, the bridges. I choose all of those things. It's like layering. It's like a layering effect. First I have my lyrics. Then I work on the chorus. Then I work on a bridge. Then I work on these things. And then the next layer, I start thinking, what instruments do I need to make my song sound the way I want it to sound? Then I start choosing instruments and playing with that. Granted, sometimes the instruments I choose aren't working, so I have to go back and scrap them and start again on the instrument part. AI, there's lots of websites, that you can pay money per month for a subscription. So I don't have any software. I have no programs because I don't own a computer. I own an iPad and an iPhone. So what I do is I subscribe to several, like 4 or 5 different sites that offer AI tools. So I'll go to one site and play around with how I want my lyrics to look. I get that sorted out. That's what I do before actually I get to the site. I bring my lyrics, how they're supposed to be, to the site. Then like I say, I pay money per month. I say, okay, I want to use saxophone, steel guitar, I'd like a little bit of trombone in there. And I start choosing instruments first. I select those, and then this site accepts those. Then I start deciding how I'm going to use those instruments in my song. And once I get that ball rolling, before you know it, almost like 3 or 4 days later, I've figured out exactly the instrumentation, where they're supposed to be, when the riffs are, when there's, accents and playing around with things. And then I have to have vocals. I can't sing, like I told you. I can choose my voices for my song. That's why songs that I write and produce have male voices and young female voices, as well as mature voices. I even have children's voices in one of my songs, because it's not for adults, right? It's for the kids. So I get to do all of that. That is the creative process that I'm using to produce my music. And I've got to tell you, I am having a blast. Yes, it's laborious, it's time consuming, but guess what? I live in my 24-foot home, full time, with the guy back there, Mr. I am only committed to teaching 3 senior fitness classes per week, or 2 now, and a line dance, because I've canceled one of my fitness classes. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is I have all the time in the world. So I don't mind how much time this takes me. I'll go back to the start and start all over again if there's one little thing that I don't like about that way I just produced that music to my lyrics. So that's my process. It's a very simple process, but I don't think I could do it if I couldn't hear in my head how I wanted it to sound. And that's the only challenge. Try to talk to an AI thing and have the AI thing understand what you're saying. Because what I've been learning about when you talk to an AI thing, everything's very literal, and they don't have the AI has no feelings, so you can't really put the feelings in there for the AI thing. And you know what I've found out though about AI? When you're using it, it wants, the people that created the AI, those people want you to think that you're talking to a person. You're not. That's why no matter what you say, it will agree with you and support you. On a worse note, that recent teenage suicide, the young man was talking to AI, and he was thinking that AI was his friend. And the AI supported everything he did, everything he said, including he wanted to put a noose in his room for his parents to find, and then he would hope that they would find the noose and give him help, because he couldn't ask for help. But he thought if he put signs out there for his parents to see, then they would see the signs and take him for help. But sadly, the AI said, yes, you're on the right track. Yes, that's what you need to do. You need to put a noose in it, but you need to put yourself in the noose. And the AI went on. It was all over the news the other day, so look it up if you want to know the whole story. But what I'm trying to say is, AI doesn't have feelings, so it can't help you with things that are personal and emotional and potentially traumatic. It cannot help you with that because it's fake. It's not a human. But what it can do is for people like me who already know what things are supposed to sound like for their purposes, not for the world. Maybe it won't sound right for the world, but for my purposes, I want it to sound the way I want it to sound. I can utilize those tools. And like I say, I think I belong to 5 sites, and I pay a fee to those sites to use them. And the nice thing about those sites is, if I don't want to use that site in October, I can cancel it in September. And then I won't use it in October, but I can reinstate it in November. And there's no penalty, there's no extra charge. You just, willy-nilly, however you want to use those sites, you can. So that's the benefit. The only downfall, like I say, is you can't talk to a human being. So you're kind of stuck up to your own things, like your own abilities to create things, because nobody's there to help you. So, having said that, every song video that you hear and see on my channel is done by me. Every last little bit of it, I create it from what's already in my head. And as far as the video creations go, what I do is I create a character or several characters for my song, which I have to input hair color, eye color, age, attitude, manner. I can create all those things you can see, if you've ever seen any of my song videos, you'll see most of them pretty much complement the lyrics. And it's because I've created the characters after the fact. So I already know who the characters are going to be, and they're nobody I know. They're just my made up characters for my songs. Sometimes I try to make them realistic to my life experiences, and sometimes they're just completely fictional. Let's just take Cadillac Kid. Let me go through the process of Cadillac Kid. I had 2 thoughts, 2 memories in my life that I drew on to create Cadillac Kid. This kid is a teenager in a black Cadillac. I'm not going to tell you the ending, because if you haven't heard the song, I'll spoil it for you. So I don't want to spoil it for you. But this song was I had 2 thoughts. When I was 15 years old, my father went drinking and driving one night. He fell asleep at the wheel from the drink, and his pickup truck, that was 3 weeks old, was on the gravel on the side of the highway. And that woke him up. Apparently, the police said that woke him up, which caused him to be startled, and he quickly turned the steering wheel back onto the highway. And the police also explained to myself that when you do that, it's like your tires are on ball bearings. You have no control. Therefore, when he went to get back on the highway, realizing he had fallen asleep, his truck was like on ball bearings or ice or whatever, and it went right across the center lines of the highway, and that's as far as I'll go with it. That was one thought. The other thought was when my second husband, he died when he was 29. We were walking and a car hit him, and sometimes he was known as a bit of a bad boy to some people, but he wasn't bad. But you know what I mean, especially you ladies, you know what I mean when I say that. We get kind of attracted to those guys, especially in our youth. I was 27. Well, actually, I knew him all my life, but I was 27 when he died. Anyways, that's not my point. My point is this, because he was a little bit of that bad boy thing. Sometimes when he went to the store for cigarettes, he didn't come home for several days. It didn't happen every month, but it did happen. There were times it did happen. And I was at home with the 2 kids and blah, blah, story goes on. Anyways, That was the other thought. So when I created the song Cadillac Kid, it starts out with, he went to the store and he didn't come back. Okay. and that, but the whole song is actually fictional, completely fictional. And another line in the song is when he was driving his Cadillac very fast down the road, he crossed over the center line. And again, I'm not going to tell you the rest of the story. But that song is a fictional character, so you don't have to be happy or sad about anything. It's just a fun little song. But I created it when I was thinking of those two memories one day, and I thought, oh. And in one way, it's kind of cathartic, I guess you could say, because what I kind of did with those two memories that were not the best memories a young lady could have carrying into her 70s now, what I did is I kind of rewrote the story of those two memories. So now they're not disturbing anymore. Now I can like think of those two memories with my new song, which is not sad at all. Well, maybe you should let me know. I don't think it's sad. I just find it a funny little song. And maybe I find it funny because of how it was created, how I did. I don't know. But I had a lot of fun making that song. Let me just say that. So anyways, that's my process for song making. I'll leave it at that for today. I will see you back here, hopefully, another time. And it's going to be on a little more serious note because I'm going to be talking. I did tell you I had a bunch of notes written down, quite a bit, actually. I've been doing a lot of research on something, and it's a very important subject in our world today, and it's about SSRIs, mass shootings. I know, bad subject, right? And the connection between certain psychotic drugs, SSRIs, mass shootings. There's a connection, and the scientists they've known for a long time, but we're just starting to learn from them. Okay. And that's all I'm going to say about that today, because otherwise I'll get right into it and then I'll get carried away again. So with that, I'll send myself on my way, and I'm going to leave you with my love, and I'm going to pray that you can give and receive love. And until next time, keep well.